It was a roller coaster of a year. I think at the beginning, I mean, we can all relate to this, but you think back, you're working a job or you're in the military, like, you know, you're trying to figure out where you're going to apply. Then you apply to the schools and you interview, you're taking tests, you get in, then you have to figure out where you're going to go and then where you're going to live. And then you move and then you go on an M-Trek and then you start the Corps. And then you finally get a break around like winter break. And that was my experience where I was just like, so go, 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 go for a very long time, that once winter break came and I had the chance to kind of like sit at home for the holidays and like reflect, I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to take a step back and like reevaluate what I'm passionate about, what I want to do here at Ross, what clubs I really want to get involved in or what clubs I don't want to be as involved in. And so once I came to that realization, I think my spring semester or winter A and B have been a lot smoother because I know exactly what events I want to go to. I can say no to things that I'm not genuinely interested in. I can hang out with people that I actually want to be around. And so, yeah, I think there were ups and downs. So I am equally as excited to come back and, like I said, have that sense of comfort where I know exactly like who I am and what I want out of the next year and go from there. Welcome to Business Beyond Usual. My name is Jasmin Lopez, and we are recording live from the Ross School of Business once again. I'm here with
Aishwarya Raja,
Oghoghosa Igbineweka,
and Sylvia Percovich,
the incoming executive producers of BBU. And today we are bidding farewell to this year's past executive producers, Aishwarya, Vashisht, and Mark.
Before we get started, we wanted to encourage you, our audience, to get in touch. We always love engaging with our listeners and we'd love to hear from you. Send us a message at bbupodcast@umich.edu, bbupodcast@umich.edu. Follow us on Instagram at Ross_BBU, Ross_BBU, and feel free to DM us there as well. Ask us questions, suggest episode topics, or just say hello.
All right, so graduation's around the corner, and we're so excited for you guys to take on the next step in your careers and in your lives.
So this also means we'll be missing seeing you guys around campus, and now we will be the ones answering questions for the incoming MBA ones.
But before that, we want to hear from you guys. How are you feeling? Are you ready to graduate already? How do you feel about your 2 years here at Ross? And are you really tired of answering all the questions that we've been asking for a year now?
Never. Could never get tired. I think like graduation isn't real yet for me. I don't even have a start date yet, which like here, there, wherever it happens. But like it's a little bit transparent to me, I think. I've like done all the planning leading up to graduation for all of our countdown events, and it's still... Maybe I've just been like internalizing it over the course of the last 6 months, whereas other people it's hitting them really hard. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, it's not hit me yet.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for a job, so that comes first. So yeah, it's not changed. It still feels the same for some weird reason. I still have a class left. So my last class was not done yet, which I think is the case with Aishwarya.
So yeah, I do have a class next week. I forgot.
Yeah, I've got class next week, so I don't think it's hit me yet. So it's.
Do you plan to go to that class?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just had my last class, so I had to put it up on Instagram because, you know, it's not real if it's not on Instagram. And I've spent the last 2 days looking into refinancing my student loan. So I'm like ready to start making money, in other words. Yeah. That's where my mind is. But I'm not ready to let go. Like second year of MBA has been the most free time I'll ever have in my life again. And
that's promising.
So true.
And the thought of letting go of that is like,
yeah, that one hurts.
yeah.
Okay. So we'd like to hear some of your favorite moments from not just MBA 2, but MBA 1, your entire MBA career. What are some of those favorite moments you'd like to share with us?
BBU.
Yeah.
Oh,
The finest of moments.
No, Vashisht, please take that back. You know you're lying.
I'll go first. I mean, there are like countless moments, obviously, from the last 2 years, but I think like the one that I will remember forever until the day I die was probably when we beat Ohio State MBA 1 year, and the entire stadium just rushed the field for no particular reason. We had beaten Ohio State for 2 years before that, but it was just like that was the vibe that day, and I don't think I'll ever let that moment pass.
I was in the stadium. I rushed the field. So bad. So bad. I think even I hurt myself. I don't know. It was so much fun. The best part is they win the championship this year and they still lose to us.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It is so much fun. Yeah, I loved Ohio State. The bus was very nice that day, both post and pre. So that is fun. I love Colombia. Colombia for me was possibly the biggest highlight. Colombia was a blast.
Yeah, Colombia was
crazy. It is fun. Yeah.
I think for me it'll be map
Oh, really?
because that
That's an interesting take. That's crazy, but carry on.
these guys are preparing the final presentation. Excuse me. The 1 week of travel to Seattle, I think that was the most learning I've had in my MBA.
Were you on the Alaska project? Like the Alaska
Airlines.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot from my peers, just like about working with people like that and having that dynamic, getting to travel. I'd never been to Seattle before, so that was an experience. I rate that in my top 3 experiences of Ross. The other 2 just don't come to mind. I'm sure there's something, but right now map is top of mind. So
I feel like that's everybody's Ross experience, though, is like if you ask anybody in the class, like pin down your favorite thing that has happened at Ross, they would be like, oh, there are so many countless examples. Like I don't know that I can really pick one out necessarily.
Yeah.
I love the Nectar Diwali nights. 2 years. They've been ballers. Like I loved this year. I think it was a blast. Like I was coerced to go dance on the stage. That was an experience.
Is that not quite your thing?
Oh no, it's not.
Oh, really? Stretching your comfort zone.
I've got 2 left feet. Both of them don't work.
Don't work.
Yeah, I was going to say that. If not that, I was thinking through all like the dance Necto nights. Like the Latin Vibes one was my last Necto dancing night. And I was like, oh no, never again.
Gotta go find somewhere else in Chicago now.
How about any challenges, not to get all sad and whatnot, but any challenges that you guys faced while being here or anything that stands out from the last 2 years?
Well, I can go. Recruiting's been a challenge, so put it out there. So I think it's been the case for most of the cohort in particular. There's not much you could do about it. It's not a Ross-specific thing. I think it's cutting across school. So I'm going to rehash something I said last year. So the benefit and the flip side of that is I think we've got a tighter cohort because of that. We've been through a lot together. Trauma bonding is something I use quite often. So
very real. Very, very real.
Yeah, so I think that's been the case with our cohort. So we've made good friendships, something that have lasted difficulty and, will last a lifetime. So I think that's been a takeaway of sorts. But yeah, recruiting's been a bit of a challenge in general.
Like really funny. What I was about to say is like kind of reverse. I was going to talk about friendships.
Yeah.
And I think coming into business school was my first time realizing that like adult friendships do not come as easy to me. I'll speak for myself. Like I didn't find making genuine friendships at business school as effortless as I have in previous phases of my life. Like when I was in college, school, when I was in Bombay, I think I was like the younger version of me was more vulnerable, easy to open up. And I found like all of my friendships are 10 plus years. At this point, it was like so easy to maintain. But then I came to business school and I realized like it was like recruiting. So that is the focus. All the social events I found were more of like socializing. This is personal. Like I'm speaking for myself, like not building as many personal connections. So, and then I looked back at the end of my first year and I had myself to blame for it a bit. But I also felt like, it's a different time where I'm probably not making my best of friends like I was earlier. So I'd say that semi-challenge.
Yeah, and I think a part of that too is also like the diversity of the class in general, which like isn't a bad thing by any metric, but like the fact that you have veterans coming straight out of the military who are now like running into a group of students who have come from Bombay or somewhere in India, that's just like not a natural friendship that would form in my mind, which makes it harder. But I also feel like at the same time, I'm very grateful that like that did happen because I would never have normally met anybody from India and become really good friends with them. So
I can relate to that so much. So I'm in the same class as Mike. Mike is Jasmin.
Yeah.
So I'm a history nut. I love geopolitics. I love all sorts of things. So
you found your niche.
Oh my God, where were you?
Yeah.
So it's. I think it's been nice. So I'd say I've not socialized with a lot of people, but the ones that I did, I think I found deep connection. So it's more of a consequence of how You treat the entire experience. You can choose your people and form deeper connects, or you can, network with a larger batch. I don't think I've met half the batch, but the folks that I did meet with, think it's much deeper. So
I'm still meeting people right now. I'm like, who are you? I haven't seen you for 2 years.
100%. And the problem with me is I'm bad with names. I'm bad with names. So it's not very uncommon for me to, just, I don't know, I'll call a Mike or Mark, I don't know.
The three of us are literally the same person. You're okay. I think as I think about like the challenges that I faced this year, I've got recency bias, and we went to New York last week as a rugby team to compete and got absolutely stomped. So that was pretty challenging. Oh no. That was a tough
There's a reason why I didn't hear anything.
It was like our
about
first
that.
year in the program, and our first match is against the London Business School, and we're like, oh no. Like, so we got rolled pretty good. We hit them really hard. I folded a kid in half, but like they're pretty good at rugby.
I met Brad, poor guy.
Yeah, nobody came back from that trip unharmed.
I did not hear of this. Okay. Crazy.
So on the other side, what are you guys looking forward to most post-grad?
Ooh. Nothing. Ross is a magical place, and I don't want to leave.
Ross is Narnia, basically.
Yeah.
I think as I think about like what I'm excited about post-grad, I came from the military before this and spent 6 years in the military. So I think I'm just kind of excited to like see what regular America is like. I've never actually worked in like a corporate environment. And so just very interested to face like a very new set of challenges, I guess, and see where that leads.
I think I've been moving quite a bit all my life. I've never stayed at a place for more than 4 years.
Yeah.
Work, location, anything.
Yeah.
Just want to, take things a little slow now. Get a job that I really like. Take things really slow. I see myself going back to India, if not immediately, but maybe 5-6 years down the line. That's something. Want to see how that works. Maybe start building up to that while I'm still here.
Actually get like a rug and a couch and everything for your apartment. Actually move
I'll
in.
save up for that right now.
I'm out of money.
I'll save up for that.
Yeah.
But I the Football World Cup's next year, so that's going to be fun. So I want to do that. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to, now I'm starting to think about moving to Chicago. Until now, I was like, I don't know when I'll move, when I'm starting. So now that finally that question's answered, I'm like, okay, scouting for the right neighborhoods, apartments. So I think I'm excited for a new chapter, and I'm not sure how many more times I'll be saying I'm moving to yet another new city. I'm starting yet another new job. Like this is like that new beginning, and maybe nothing will be this new for a while after that. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
All right, thank you. So now let's take a brief pause to hear from one of our sponsors.
This episode is sponsored by the Ross School of Business at the University of Michigan. Through our podcast, you can connect with the people and experiences that define the Ross way. Check out our other podcasts, such as Working for the Weekend, an exploration of the part-time MBA experience, Business and Society, a business podcast with award-winning Michigan Ross faculty, and Down to Business, a new interview series with Ross alum in the C-suite, hosted by Dean Sharon Matusik. All podcasts can be found on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
All right, we're back. Thanks for tuning in. So we're going to turn the tables, how the turntables have turned. We're going to ask our incoming EPs some questions since it's been all about us. What are you guys most looking forward to as MBA 2s? And we can start with Aishwarya.
I think first and foremost, I'm really looking forward to not recruiting.
Yes.
So I hope. So I really hope what I have in hand turns out well. Fingers crossed. And I think first year has been such a roller coaster and so fast paced. I don't think I've had the time to just take a pause.
Yeah, internalize all of it.
So I think, like Aishwarya was saying, how she's had so much free time in year 2. I hope I have that. And I hope I'm able to just spend time with myself, with friends, and socialize, which I think I've done slightly lesser in my year 1.
Yes, yeah, certainly.
So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And I have my MTrek coming up.
Ooh, where are you going?
So we got Mexico.
Ooh.
So very excited for that. Hopefully, we have enough people. So if MBA 1s you're hearing, sign up for Mexico. Let's make that trip happen.
What part of Mexico?
We have decided as of now Mexico City and Tulum.
Oh, I might be shouting you. I'm thinking about going to Mexico City actually
Yeah.
for my birthday,
Please.
which is the M-Track week.
Yeah, you should just get a group of people
Yeah.
and we can just join us.
Amtrak, Mexico too.
Right. Okay, so yeah, I think for me, I'm really looking forward to deepening my friendships. I think that I've kind of similar to what you were saying, like struggled with, I feel like really finding, strong friendships. I think they've all been like really good, but I really feel like they can get a lot deeper. But I think a lot of that's because my social battery dies really quickly. So I'm just looking forward to hopefully having more time to also decompress. So I'm also ready to be more social. But at the same time, I'm also looking forward to like the set of classes that I did select, and they are a full 18 credits. So I'm not sure
Holy
how
cow,
much.
what?
Why?
I think almost a lot of us are doing
They
that, like 18 full
It's a
18
lot.
credits.
Yeah. So I say that with a grain of salt. I don't know how much like time I'm gonna have for socializing, but definitely gonna try for that. And looking forward to those two things, I will say.
You'll be surprised. You will. Like with 18 credits, also somehow there's a lot of socializing that happens in the MBA.
Yeah, it's a balance.
For me, I think I'm looking forward to having that sense of comfort, right? Like when I first moved here, I didn't know where the bus was. I didn't know where Kresge was in the business school and how to get to certain classes and whatnot. And so just having that sense of comfort, knowing that I'm coming back to a really great group of friends and an apartment I'm already familiar with, and just Ann Arbor will be fun. But for me, I'm looking forward to, alongside the classes, of course, I'm looking forward to giving back to the MBA ones. And, a lot of MBA twos have been really instrumental in helping me feel a sense of community here at Ross. And so I'm hopeful and excited that the incoming class of MBA ones will feel that same sense of community from our year.
Yeah, I think +1 to everything everyone said, but I think it's just looking to enjoy more of the MBA programming. I think it's the first thing that goes when we're low on battery or when we have things to do. It's even if we sign up for stuff, we say, I can't make that. I'll have to skip it for now, and making sure that if it's on the calendar, I'm going to do it. But I think it's back to that level of comfort, deepening friendships, just enjoying what's Ann Arbor. I said to myself I would try a new place to study at least once a week, and I've never done that while I've been here.
Have you done the law library yet?
I got kicked out.
What? Okay, no, this is a story. We're
No,
sidetracking.
it's such a tame story. I wish it was funner. I was sitting in the just law students part, and they literally scan your ID and were like, "You're not a law student." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm a Michigan student." And they're like, "You sit over there." And they did this horrible point to the end where there were these awful tables. And in my head, I was just like, I will remember this moment. I will make lots of money. I will buy this law school and only Ross students will use it. I don't think that's going to work out for me because I'm going into marketing, but it's a thought. I also thought about naming it after my dog if I couldn't make it into a business school library. My friends at the law school were like, yeah, no, law students will still need to use the library. So they can't just, I'm like, I appreciate that you are taking me seriously. Really appreciate that. So yeah, trying new coffee shops, joining more events, and just being present. I think so much of this year was a surviving kind of mechanism. What's next? What about the summer? What does this mean for the year after? And everything kind of passed by. I remember it just looking up and the leaves had changed, and I was like, whoa. When did that happen? I was so unaware of what was going on. So I'm excited to be present, enjoy the last year before we get back to quote unquote real life, as I like to tell my friends, not in the bubble. And yeah, I'm pretty excited.
It definitely shifts second year. I remember that thinking wow, I have so much free time. And then this semester, it's been me finding excuses to come to Ross just to hang out with people because I know that's where everybody's going to be. I'm taking 2 classes this quarter right now, and I start at 2:00 on Tuesdays, and I'm done by 4:00 on Thursdays. So the free time is a real thing.
Winter's free as hell. You basically do nothing. It's almost like you go into hibernation yourself. You don't come to Ross. You emerge.
Yeah.
But did you guys have a good first year? How are you guys feeling about that?
Yeah.
Halfway there.
I really felt what Sylvia was saying around first. It really felt like it came and went. It's really hard for me to pinpoint exact moments because it just went by so fast. And it did feel like somewhat of a survival mechanism. You know, I was trying to just get to whatever deadlines or meet whatever dates that needed to be met. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess taking outside, looking in a little bit now, it was good. You know, it was fine.
That is exactly the way people say it when first semester was terrible and second semester was reasonably decent.
I was just gonna say, no one's holding a gun to Oghoghosa's head. For those who are listening.
It was okay. I'm looking forward to the NBA too. I will say that.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I think for me, it was a roller coaster of a year. I think at the beginning, I mean, we can all relate to this, but you think back, you're working a job or you're in the military, like, you know, you're trying to figure out where you're going to apply. Then you apply to the schools, then you interview, you're taking tests, you get in, then you have to figure out where you're going to go and then where you're going to live. And then you move and then you go on an M-Trek and then you start the Corps. And then you finally get a break around like winter break. And that was my experience where I was just like, so go, 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 go for a very long time, that once winter break came and I had the chance to kind of like sit at home for the holidays and like reflect, I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to take a step back and like reevaluate what I'm passionate about, what I want to do here at Ross, what clubs I really want to get involved in or what clubs I don't want to be as involved in. And so once I came to that realization, I think my spring semester or winter A and B have been a lot smoother because I know exactly what events I want to go to. I can say no to things that I'm not genuinely interested in. I can hang out with people that I actually want to be around. And so, yeah, I think there were ups and downs. So I am equally as excited to come back and, like I said, have that sense of comfort where I know exactly like who I am and what I want out of the next year and go from there.
So you basically mastered the art of not having FOMO. Like that's what you've gone through.
Yes, I don't feel bad about not going to anything.
Did they do that in orientation? FOMO, JOMO?
FOMO and JOMO, yeah.
You live in Woodbury though, right?
I do.
So I think...
What does that have to do with anything?
That answers all questions.
I think the best part is when you're staying in yard and then you still enjoy JOMO. I mean, I think that was me in the first semester.
Wait, what's JOMO?
Joy of missing out.
Oh, every day.
Yeah, you were clearly paying attention during that orientation session.
Yeah. So I think for me, it was a roller coaster, but then I think I can very easily differentiate, I think, the first semester versus the second semester. First semester was recruitment. I was in a different hibernation mode then. And then I think semester 2, like entire winter has been building friendships. Colombia happened. I think Colombia was, again, for me, a big highlight.
So fun.
It was too much fun. I was not going to go. And I think last minute decisions, best decision, I would say. So yeah, this term, even my map travel was fun. So I think overall winter has been really, really good.
I personally, I know like I talked about second year being like so much free time, but I personally think first year is somewhat better because it's like more happening. I don't know.
Yeah, everything's new.
Yeah,
everything's kind of new.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I liked the Halloween party last year much better.
Yes.
Like
Go marketing club. Woo.
Yes. I don't know. I think it's the novelty factor of it. I'd imagine.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah,
maybe.
So
I guess like having a regular schedule was neat.
Yes.
I think that was the part that I enjoyed.
You know, now that we think about it, it's maybe in the first year, those served as outlets. Like it's a pressure cooker basically, right? So I think you enjoyed the events a lot more because you had these outlets out. In the second year, it's like, man, I'll just do that at my place.
But I completely agree with both of you. The novelty, like the first time doing Latin vibes or whatever, and that structure that, okay, you take classes with those same people. I agree with both of you.
It was much easier to block out my day because I was like, I know I need to do these 2 hours of this thing. Otherwise, it's never going to happen today.
Yeah.
Whereas like now it's like, I'll wake up on Monday morning. I'm like,
do I want to wake up?
Maybe I'll do that sometime in the next 2 months.
Okay, I'm going to rat him out. But basically, I put the last episode on our calendar and it was like 10 a.m. or something. And he was like, but I wake up at noon. And I'm like, Vashisht.
Yeah, that's what has happened to me. Like first term, we had 8 a.m. classes. Like three of us are from the same section, stats class.
Oh, that's so
funny.
And
I used to make it like I probably missed maybe maximum of 2 stats classes in the first term. And like fast forward to this term.
Oh, yeah.
Or the last term when we had like classes, even a 10:20 a.m. class, I'm like, I think I can miss this one.
It gets so hard to wake up in the
10:20
morning.
starts are tough.
My
'cause
app has agreed that we do not meet any time before 10:30. So, yeah.
Like it proved to be such like it made my heart sink when Aishwarya said we're recording in the morning. I was like, do we?
It's not at 8 a.m. It's like 10 something. It wasn't crazy at all. And he's like, I wake up at noon. I'm like,
It's crazy what our bodies get used to because, like, now that you're going back to work, I'm sure it'll be like, oh, this is normal. But in my head, I'm like, man, I have to commute to my internship. I was like, it's not a 15-minute walk. Like, I'm like, how am I supposed to eat breakfast and shower and do all of these things I did a year ago when I worked an actual job? But no, I'm not looking forward to that, I think.
And I think when I look back the first year, I probably traveled the most as well.
Yeah.
Comparatively. Yeah, because when I was working, I'd probably take maybe a trip or two in a year, and maybe one of that is an international one. Coming here, first of all, for me, it was first time in the US. And then as soon as I came, my MTech was in Hawaii. And my friends outside were like, when I posted photographs, they're like, who goes to Hawaii in the first month they're in the US? Like people who, my friends who studied here, who've been working here for 2 years, they were like, I have not been to Hawaii. And you just tapping in.
17 years of living in the States to go to Hawaii.
I still haven't gone,
So Hawaii, then Colombia, and my map was in Kenya.
oh,
so,
nice. So you really traveled.
quite a bit of travel. And of course, India in between. So
Love that.
I feel like I've done the opposite. I'm like, everything's so expensive. I can't go anywhere. I have to stay home and my dog's going to miss me. And my dog could care less. But I want to do that more next year. I keep telling people let's do hometown treks. We're on The Bachelor, but no one's dating each other. We'll go to each other's hometown. Someone will plan a whole trip for the weekend and then we'll come back.
That's nice.
And everyone's like, okay, you do it. And I'm like, no, I want someone else to do it and I'll go.
And it can't be during the bus and it can't be during and then it never happens.
It never happens. I'm like, I'm just the idea person. I can't do both,
Well, brace yourself. They do Mexico Trek for fall break.
Ooh.
The crew that runs the Colombia Trek will pop up back in your WhatsApp again and be like, would you like to go to Mexico?
if they give a good deal, then we should be able to do that.
I shadowed for Colombia and I really liked it because we had more flexibility to do things. I'd also worked in Colombia for about a summer. So I was aware of the country. I wanted to see some friends that still live there. But maybe I'll do that for Mexico too because there's so much to do in DF and everywhere else that I want to be boo, 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 boo. I got a little anxious because during the Colombia trek, the people who you guys were staying with were like, okay, we're on a timeline, let's go. We can't shop. And I'm like, I can't be rushed if I'm shopping. I'm like, I need to see what speaks to me, and go with the flow.
So what are some of the things you guys are looking forward to this year, in the community? Any clubs, any positions, peer coaching?
Yeah, so I'm really fortunate and I'm one of the co-presidents for Marketing Club. So really excited to kind of do that. And I'm also helping out on the marketing side for a new case competition around long COVID, which is going to kick off for the first time at Ross next year. So I'm focusing on this, obviously this. Those are my three main kind of involvement. And then from that in my head, I'm I'm just going to support everything else and attend all the events and go. But as far as my involvement, it's on that. I think speaking to the other two, marketing is something that I want to do. I came here wanting to pivot my career from big tech to something that I could actually see and perhaps touch and CPG. So I'm doing that. And at least for the long COVID case, it's something that affects a big chunk of my community and the Latinx community. So I wanted to kind of give back and get involved in that way. So I'm trying to cover my bases, but I definitely want to be more present on campus, attend more things, and just have fun. I'm trying to do one thing that scares me every year. So this year it's going to be probably dancing in Latin vibes or something like that.
I can imagine that being an intimidating experience. I don't know. Tell us with your two left feet, Vashisht.
How long have you
Your broken left feet.
How long have you got?
For me, I am overly involved. I will preface that. So if you're listening, I don't think this is normal or encouraged. But I am the VP of our marketing conference. So I'm also a marketing person. And so I'll be helping with corporate sponsorships for that. I'm the incoming co-president of the Hispanic Business Student Association. So I'm really excited to give back to my community in that way. I'm a consortium liaison too, so I'm one of 4. And so excited to bring in a new class of consortium folks, as well as give back to our MBA 2 people. And then I'm a Weiss Senior Fellow for the Nonprofit Board Fellowship through the Business Plus Impact Office. Shout out to them. I did the Nonprofit Board Fellowship this year, and it was such a rewarding experience. So I want to give back to first years by doing that role. There's probably something else. Oh, BBU, of course. And so, yeah, I am doing things that are giving back, but also things that are really fun for me. And, oh, I did forget one thing. I am a marketing peer coach as well. So, and I'm grading for a professor. So I'm done.
I don't think I have enough fingers for all of that.
Okay, so episode's done. Like,
Wow.
she did give us a heads up.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I am one of the co-VPs of education for the International Investment Fund. I will say in general, I'm really passionate about emerging markets and working within those spaces. So that's kind of been the theme here. Part of the International Investment Fund, doing VP of Education. And then I'm actually starting an organization, some of you may have already heard of it, for Blueprint Accelerator. It was a startup accelerator program that was piloted this past year. We're trying to make it an official organization next year. So I will be president of that. So there's obviously a lot that goes into like obviously starting up a whole organization. So that will keep me busy. And then I think kind of what everyone else has been saying, I really want to just push myself to do more activities as a member of all the different organizations. I'm also a member of the Black Business Student Association as well, being able to continue to support in that capacity, whether it's, you know, attending events or helping out with recruitment or prospective students. And then obviously, you know, being here with BBU, and honestly, just I want to be, you know, better ally at other affinity groups and their events. So I'm excited for that, honestly.
Yeah, I've not taken too much on my plate. So one of the roles I've taken up is the SVP of Firm Relations and Events for the Consulting Club. I think that's a huge one. Will definitely take up a lot of my time. And I'm excited to really shape that and give back to the MBA ones, because we obviously benefited from the Consulting Club. The second one is definitely BBU, which I'm very, very excited about. So I've been wanting to do that since year 1, and I'm glad I'm doing that in my second year. And the third one is peer coaching. I'm a peer coach for consulting. For me, I think MBA2s were my pillar of support throughout my first semester, throughout my recruitment journey. So definitely wanted to give back. And I'm really looking forward to that. Like in whatever ways I can, I really want to help the incoming batch. So yeah, these are the official positions or whatever. And I think I'm also quite excited to be an ally to ISBA. All my friends are on the board. So, and I'm sure we're going to have some really, really amazing flagship events coming up. Yeah, help them here and there. Yeah, that's about it. I think that's how I plan to involve myself with the community.
I know Dia is council president right now, and we've kind of like chit chat. I mean, we talk all the time over the course of the year, but she made it a personal goal of hers to attend an event for every single club at Ross.
Oh, wow.
I imagine not the professional ones, because I don't know that she wants to go back to another consulting seminar on a Sunday.
We're trying to change that. If
because Friday is so much better.
Yeah. I honestly like that goal, though. I think I might steal that and make that for myself. It'll force me to put myself out of, you know, my usual comfort zone, and yeah, also just do different things.
Yeah. I mean, like Diwali was just like something that was not really on my radar, and then I went this year and I was like, but my buddy like grabbed me. What's the traditional garb?
The kurta sherwani.
He grabbed me one and he threw it on me. I was like, this is about to go crazy. And it was crazy.
I saw you.
Do not say another word.
What happened
Do not
was,
finish that sentence.
Vashisht and I were talking, and you were up on stage towards the end, and I was like,
Stop right now. My parents are probably listening.
I'm sure you guys have video, right?
we'll find it.
This is a podcast, not a video series.
I feel like we can change that. It could be like a, like an S for the
He's in
future.
agreement. Okay, so we've looked back at your first year at our entire MBA. I like how our MBA experience, we were like 3 lines each. And then we talk about like their MBA 1 and we're just going on and on. But
I
that's
think
like,
it's very recent, maybe.
I think so.
That's
Yeah.
why-
We're
Like,
old, Aishwarya.
yeah, now we're old. We're just, yeah.
Old.
Anyway, so coming back to you guys, what's happening in the summer? Where's everyone going? Have you guys figured out your housing? Are you excited? I know MTrek's happening, but also aside from that.
So I'm going to be going to PepsiCo this summer, but I'll be in the Soho office working on e-commerce. So my housing's a bit all over the place. It's hard because I have a pet, so not a lot of people want to sublet, which I understand.
Yeah.
So I am going to be staying in the beginning with my best friend and her mom and her dad and her husband while they do renovations on a house for 2 bathrooms. And then it'll be me, my dog, them, her sister's dog in Westchester. So I'm really excited actually because they're family. So I spend every year with them for Thanksgiving. So that'll be a reality show episode in and of itself. Then I'm going to spend 2 weeks in Brooklyn because that's the length of the sublet I was able to find. And then I'm a free agent. So if anybody has any ideas for 4th of July onwards in the city, please let me know. But I lived in the city for about 8 years beforehand. So like I get how it is sometimes. Afterwards, going to Berkeley for my best friend's housewarming / baby shower. My other best friend's graduating from Haas that week, so I'll be sticking around for that. And then my family in Peru has finally graduated from Catholic guilt to straight out hostility about the fact that I haven't been home in 5 years. So I will be going to Peru at the end of the summer for a little bit. I'm saying it now because if I don't, I'll somehow backtrack and then it'll get back to my mom and then she will actually be really mean to me.
She
And I
won't
don't want to
let
deal
us
with
out
that.
in June.
Publicly committed.
Yeah, I've publicly committed in June. So we'll hope for the best.
All
But
our
yeah.
listeners, please hold her to this.
For me, I am headed to Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm going to Procter & Gamble. I'll be managing the Charmin brand, so I'm really excited. It's a really great opportunity. It's a $1 billion brand, and I don't even know what I'm going to be doing, but I'm just really excited to get that experience as I am a career pivoter. Then after that, well, actually, I start May 12th, so that's a very early start date.
Yeah.
And so I don't have a lot of time to go back home to New Jersey. So I'll be there for like 10 days. And then after the internship, I'll go back to New Jersey, going to Grenada for a couple of days too in August. And then I might shadow an MTrek. But I have a lot of wedding planning to do. And so I'll probably take August to wedding plan as well. And then I'll be back in Ann Arbor. So I'm excited for that.
When are you getting married?
November of 2026. So after
Nice.
the program. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, she already started the wedding planning conversation, so I'll just start there. I will also be like mostly wedding planning. I'm actually beginning of May, we'll be going to New York to do some dress shopping and also looking at venues in New York City, North New Jersey area. So if anyone has any ideas, let me know. So yeah, then after that, I'll probably come back to Ann Arbor because I need to ship my car because I'll be going to Austin, Texas for the summer. I'll be at Dell Technologies in their strategy group. I'm super excited about that. I've always been really into tech strategy. And I think, finding this opportunity has been great. So love Austin, hashtag keep Austin weird. And it should be fun. And then somewhere in there, travels to London. I'll be going to Alabama. I'll be going to North Carolina. So just a lot of, travels in between, but definitely looking forward to it. And then you mentioned Mexico. So maybe I might shadow her Mexico MTech.
So I'll be heading to Chicago for the summer. Excited to be there. I've heard so much about Chicago and summers. I hope the weather is really, really nice, unlike Ann Arbor today or a few days back. So I'm heading to Kearney. So I'm excited for that as well. A little bit nervous in Reading as well because I've heard it's going to be super hectic. So let's see how that goes.
I don't think anybody felt good about their internship when they showed up.
Oh, I loved mine.
Oh,
I loved mine.
okay.
I hope it's really nice, but I'm sure it's going to be hectic, which is fine. I think that's what we can expect. But I'm also, I think, very excited because we have about 50 to 60 of us in Chicago during the summer.
Yeah. Have you guys started a Slack channel yet?
Yeah, we have a WhatsApp group already.
Oh, there you go.
Are you guys living in that building that everyone stays in? What's that called?
Yeah, the
MPP?
MPP.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like 50% there, 50% everywhere else. That's how it is. So yeah, I think that'll be fun. We've planned a couple of, we're trying to plan like a boat trip in Chicago. So I think that'll be fun. Post my summer, I'll have some time because my internship gets over early as well. So I hope to just do a small trip to my friends in the West Coast. Hopefully that happens and works out well. And after that, I have my Mexico MTrek, and then I'll be back in Ann Arbor. Yeah. I was going to say Chicago, but I'll be back.
Wishful thinking. Yeah. Ready to hit it.
I will say that's a great divide. It's MBA ones. I think we mostly use WhatsApp and you guys mostly use Slack. So it's like a huge...
I have to vent this in public forum right now because I am the guy that runs the Slack.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And everybody's like, oh my gosh, we're like missing all this resident knowledge. All the twos are leaving. Like we're not going to be able to... Yes, that's because you're not on Slack.
I think it's triggering, like we just think of work. We want to leave it behind.
We've heard that feedback from the MBA too. And we did not do better.
No. I downloaded the app on my computer and phone. I just haven't logged in on my phone.
No, that's not an app on my computer, actually.
I think Aishwarya has realized this. She messages us on Slack and then she reaches out to me on WhatsApp. Can you look at what Slack?
Well, I'm not using it because they're not using it.
Email and WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
So what do you think will happen to the incoming MBA ones? So if these guys went to WhatsApp, like the incoming MBA ones will be like TikTok.
Yeah.
There's actually a very deliberate effort to get people back onto Slack next year because Rahul is like, for recruiting stuff, it's impossible to reach MBA 2s unless you use Slack.
That's true.
So like if you want to schedule a case with an MBA 2, then you don't have their number. Slack is like the place that people do it. So
that's true.
That's true.
I think there may be a deliberate effort next year. But
Okay, so no TikTok. Okay. Slack.
Well,
I don't know, Snapchat. I saw people using Snapchat, looking up their birth charts on Snapchat.
you can
do that.
Yes.
never mind. I'm going to stop asking questions.
It's time to wrap up. Okay.
Well, that brings us to the end of our last episode from this season. Congratulations on graduation, and we're excited to take the BBU legacy forward into next year. Yay!
Business Beyond Usual is brought to you by the Ross School of Business at the University of Michigan. Today's episode was produced by myself, Vashisht, Aishwarya Dhume, alongside Mark O'Connell, the executive producers of BBU. Special thanks to the studio producers JT Godfrey, Jonah Brockman, and Mads Henke. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, for the final time this season, go blue, and this is Business Beyond Usual.